So, hi guys. Today, June 8, 2020, I'll give my own personal technical analysis on some selected cryptocurrencies. So, welcome to our cryptocurrency charting session. But before I start, of course, disclaimer first, guys, trading and investing have risk, so please trade at your own risk. And yeah, actually, I would also like to invite you in this video. Now let's start with BTC USDT or BTC USD. So actually we've analyzed it before, but let's clear it out so that it will be a fresh analysis again because there's already a lot of lines. So yeah, this is I think you cannot it is actually wait. Let's see the whole chart first. So this is the whole chart of Bitcoin. So as you can see, we're now trading at around 9673.26. So let's now move. But wait, let's just. So go to the weekly because the week just ended a few hours ago. So let's plot the trend we're looking at. So as this is actually the trend I'm looking at. So let's make it red. Red means resistance, and of course, green is the support we are looking at. So as you can see, it is actually a symmetrical triangle. So wait, let's just the oh, let's just adjust it a bit. So as you can see, so oh there you go. As you can see, this is actually the resist. This is already at resistance. Actually, it is near the resistance and trying to red resistance line, which is actually around 10,400. So let's see if this time it will break out in this area. So what's our possible target if it breaks this area? So this is our possible target. So let's just measure the height from here to here and let's put it upon breakout in case it breakouts here. So that's actually a target of long-term target of around 27,446 or let's check the coordinates 27,387.91. So that's the possible target if it break at this level or around 10,400, a solid breakout, not a wick or shadow. However, if it invalidates or reject to breakouts in this level, worst case that we're looking at is of course to trade within this area level or around 4,421. This is actually the worst case that we're looking at in case it failed to break out again at 10,400. Now that's actually our long term or yeah, our long term we're looking at depending where the breakout or breakouts comes or So now let's move on to the daily chart. So on the daily chart, actually the strong on the daily chart is actually not did not touch actually the resistance we're looking at. Wait, let's just adjust it a bit. I mean the red one. So there was it. So yeah, there you go, guys. So actually it resists at this area. So this area and then this area. So now trying to retest it again, and let's see if this time it will break out in this area around 10,400. So the first resistance we're looking at is of course the around 10,200. If it breaks that area, of course the 10,000, this area around 10,400. So wait, this area, actually that's even around 10,500 or 10,600. Because the next resistance we're looking at upon breakout at 10,400 is at least, I mean, around 11,000. We'll show you, we'll check the CMC chart later because there's actually a gap at around or close to 12,000 area. So this is actually the key resistance we are looking at. Now let's go to the possible supports. So let's plot first the trend line here. So this is actually the trend line. So let's make it green because this is the support. And of course, the resistance around this area. So as you can see, it's within, it's actually trending higher, or the trend is going up. And at this level, it is actually at support area. So I think it's it's higher, or the chance or the probability of it breaking this resistance is much higher than breaking this support because it's already at support area. However, the support we're looking at, in case that it will not go up, is at least within this area around 9,400. So, and if it breaks that area, at least this area around $8,700. So that's actually the key resistance and support we're looking at for BTC. Now let's check on the RSI. So currently, I'm just checking if there is a, it's actually the RSI is actually going down. So could possibly, of course, retest this area around 47 or this area around 63. So let's see where the RSI goes. But usually I'm using the candlestick or the price action as an indicator, and of course the basic support and resistance plus the trend line. So yeah, at this level, actually, I'm still, oh, I mean, I closed my position a while ago, but yeah, normally I'm long on Bitsy because it's actually for me it's easier to manage, but I also do so short. But at this, but I think at this level, I think I'm go long. I'm still on long on some positions actually. So possible. So I'm expecting it to retest at least around 11,000. I mean, yeah, at that area. But you can actually put it at this level around 10,200. But yeah, if that is the case, the risk reward ratio is actually 0.91. For me, this is not attractive risk reward. Expecting it for it to break out. However, if I'm wrong and I got stop out, the risk that I'm expecting is around 5.78%. And of course, if my TP gets closed, I'm expecting 12.69%. If that is 100 times leverage, at least 1,200%. But yeah, if there is actually depending on your risk management strategy, you can actually use a trailing stop if your portfolio is already at a gain, so that at least you can still close the position, of course, at a gain and not at a loss. So that's actually what I'm looking at for the daily time frame. And now let's move on to the 30 minutes time frame, because this is actually the time frame that I'm using at. So wait, let's just look at the RSI and let's RSI level. So currently, wait, seems like, wait, this is, no, it's not actually a 9813.67, 9829. No, it's not a, I thought it's a bearish divergence. Anyway, this one is more on convergence actually. So there's no divergence I'm looking at. So now let's look at the candle forming. It's actually like a dragonfly doji. So a dragonfly doji is actually a bullish candlestick, but however it's still 15 minutes before this candle close. If it close like a dragonfly doji or like this, that's actually more on a positive or a long signal. So the resistance we're looking at based on the 30 minutes is the 9,800 level. And of course, the support we're looking at is the immediate support is around 9,700. Let's change it to green, and of course if it breaks this level actually back to around $9,500. So that's actually the support we're looking at currently, and breaking this support is actually breaking around 9,800 level is actually next target around 10,200 level. So there you go, guys, for BTC. Anyway, let's look. I will show you the gap in CMC chart. Wait. So let's see. So actually, this is the gap that is not yet filled, around 11,675 to 11,950. So let's see. I think it will fill the gap. Wait, let's check on this. So actually, it's the same. Also, it's also a top and a top. So let's see if this time it will break out this 10,400 to 10,500 level. Because once it break out here, I think it's easy for it to fill these gaps. So the at least around 12,000 if using the CMC chart. So yeah, I'm still looking forward that it will fill the gap, but when, that's actually the question. Now let's move on to the ETH USD. So ETH USD. So for ETH, actually this is the whole chart of ETH. Wait, let's. So if you look at on the monthly chart, it's actually already near the resistance, which is around 278 level. On a weekly chart, so on a weekly chart, it is, yeah, it's also near the resistance, which is around 2. On a weekly chart, that's actually what we are looking at, or yeah, possibly the next key resistance around $276. And of course, if it break that area, actually this one is also a strong resistance, which is around $309. And of course, if it break that area, yeah, I think this is already the next possible support area around $400. And of course, possible support if it failed to break out is on a weekly is this one around $208. So now let's move on to the daily chart. Wait, let's look at the RSI is actually, yeah, it's actually a convergence. So let's go to the daily chart. So the on a daily chart, I think it's still the same targets. We'll just adjust it a bit. So on a daily chart is actually our target is, or possible next resistance is around 285. And of course, if it break that area is around this area around $319. So our support we're looking at is actually this one first within this area around 232, and next possible support at 216 area. So let's plot the, actually it's also within the uptrend line. So let's check it out. So if you look at it, it's actually trading within this uptrend area. So currently it needs to break this red or the dash line. Breaking that level is welcome to around this area, or that is the 285 area. So I think, yeah, there is a possibility or higher chance that it will move to this 285. So now after that, let's move on to the 30 minutes. Wait, let's check the RSI. So currently I'm not seeing any divergence. So on the 30 minutes, hmm, but it's actually the it's I saw a bearish divergence, but it's already done. Currently, I'm not seeing any divergence at the moment. So wait, just checking. So I think at this point it's the RSI is already at or near the oversold territory. So I think yeah, there's still chance that it will move, or possibly if it breaks down could possibly target around 235. And of course the resistance we're looking at is this red dash line, or or it depends where the candle tries to break here. But yeah, what we're looking at is actually the 250 area. So yeah, I think that's it for Ethereum. So on a daily, still within the lower. So it needs to really retest this or break out this area. But just a few dollars already and it will reach the 245 area. So I think it will really break out in this area. So I'm waiting at 200. Wait, let me check. Resistance 1 and of course the support 1. But you can also use the support 2 if you want it. But of course, as much as possible, less less risk and high reward or profit. So if it reach our target of 285, possibly that's a risk reward ratio of 4.07 and the possible return of 17.14%. So if you're using 50 times leverage, that's actually so that's actually for 100 that's already 1,700%. But if times 50, more or less that's around 800%. So for possible stop out, that's 4.21%, or that's around, if the leverage is 100, that's 400. If the leverage is 50, that's around 200. So it's still attractive if it, of course, if it breaks or reach the target area of 285. So yeah, so it's depends whether it will, of course, reach our target or reach our target profit, or reach or get stop out. So next is of course the LTC. LTC USD is, so let's, I think for LTC let's also remove it first, all the drawings, so that we can start anew. So let's go first to the, so let's use this one, the weekly, to plot our expected trends. That's actually it. And of course this one. So that's green because this is a support and this is the red or the resistance. So if you look at it, it's actually near the apex. So I think it will break out, or already most probably will break out in this area. So if it break out in that area, our possible target is, of course, let's measure it out. This is, of course, the long-term targets, and possibly our target is actually around, let's see the coordinates, 405.09. So that's actually pretty attractive for Litecoin. So yeah, if ever you're go long in there, and here, that's actually, of course, a lot, or I mean, a very profitable return. But it's a more long term. So I'd rather, trade spot and, of course, futures. Futures I usually use daily, or daily 30 minutes, or sometimes I also use the 1 or the 3 minutes time frame. So yeah, actually it depends, but I'm also want I mean hold a few spot of Litecoin. So actually this is the possible return. Actually basically it could be spot. But for perpetual, that's actually, if you hold it, there's a funding rate, so I will not advise. So now let's go on to the daily chart. So on the daily chart, it is actually, let's delete it out. On the daily charts, it's already at resistance level. So yeah, let's see if it breaks this area. So if it break that area, possible target is, of course, around 83. Wait, is that 83 or this one? Yeah, let's check it first. Around this 63 area. That's one first before the 83. So if it breaks that area, of course, welcome to around or $83. Of course, the support we're looking at is this area. Actually, around 41 or 42 level. Or if it failed to break that area, but actually it's tried to retest it many times, so I think this time it will break out this area. So yeah, let's see. So I'm more bullish. So that's why I'm more bullish, because I look at the long time frame first, and then I see the whole picture so that I'll know what the trade I'll be doing. But of course, I in futures I usually mostly long, but I also do shorts, of course. And now let's look at the indicator in a daily time frame. Just actually, it's actually going down. So wait, let's just check it out. If there is a, so at this point, just checking first. I'm not seeing any resistance at the moment. So yeah, if you look at it, it's how many times that it tried to break it. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So this is the seventh time that it will try to break this resistance area. So let's see, it's actually consolidating within this resistance area. So let's see if by this time is will break that area. But I'm looking forward that it will break that area. Anyways, let's move on to the 30 minutes time frame. So just actually checking. So at this point, it's just a convergence. So now let's move on. So if you look at it, it's like actually a dragonfly doji forming. So a dragonfly doji is more on a bullish signal. So I think it will try to break this resistance line again. So yeah, there you go guys for LTC. So let's go back to the daily and repeat the support and resistance we're looking at. So for LTC, the support we're looking at is around 42 level. And of course, the resistance we're looking at is at 60, actually at 60 to around 58 to around $60. And of course, if it break that 58 to $60, possibly welcome to $83. So there you go guys for LTC. Now let's move on to XRP. So XRP USD. So there you go guys. So for XRP, I'm not trading XRP that much, but I normally use it upon cash out transactions. So because the transaction fees is much lower. So let's just go on to the daily chart. So if you look at it, this is actually the previous bullish. I mean, let's use this one. It's actually a pretty bullish sign. So if you look at it, it's actually go up until it resists at this area around 0.22. I think that's still, oh, but now it's actually break. So it's actually now trying to go back to the support area we are looking at, which is at this area or already at support area. If it break that area, the 0.20 possibly go back at this area around 0.19 area. So there you go guys, and of course the resistance we're looking at is 0.2689, and of course the resistance at around 0.21138. So since I'm not trading this much for LTC, I mean for XRP, maybe I think the daily chart is fine with it. So yeah, wait, let me check the hmm. Well, at the moment, I'm not seeing any divergence. So now let's move on to the to gold. So actually, hmm, I think it's better if we remove all the drawings and let's start anew. So let's go first to the monthly chart. So this is actually the whole chart of the gold. So currently we are at or trading around 1693.57. So actually, as I mentioned in my previous video, actually expecting a I'm actually expecting a cup, or actually I'm seeing a cup. So this is the cup. This is actually the monthly monthly charge. So let's go to the weekly chart. So as you can see, it is actually just a few dollars away to retest the all-time high, which is actually around 19 something 1920.94. So yeah, I think on gold actually I'm also long. Yeah, but I do also short at this level. So yeah, so let's see. It's actually, yeah, let's measure the possible risk reward at this point. So if it reached our all-time high target of around 19 and the support we're looking at is at least at this level, so that's actually, so that's around 2.41 risk reward ratio. But of course, until when it will reach or it will retest the all-time high, if of course we don't know. And if you're trading futures, there is actually a finance charge or funding rates. So that's what that's why as much as possible, if you have profit, take profit, and of course go back again when the upon pullbacks. So yeah, there you go guys for gold. Now let's look at the other indicators. So if you look at the RSI, it's actually moving or same as the price action. So it's also going up. So I think at this point it will try to retest this area around 1744. That's actually the resistance we're looking at, 1744, and of course possible support is at this level around 1636. So yeah, there you go, guys. If you have some comments, questions, and feedback, please feel free to reach me out. And what else? I think let's also move to link, chain link. So, so they just one that asked if I already done the BTC USD. Anyways, let's move on to gold. Actually, I also love trading gold because I think it will really retest the all-time high. So, yeah, let's see. And of course, yeah, I forgot to mention that since this is a possible cap and handle, this is my possible target also. So that's actually at possibly around 2,700, depending where the breakout on the handle is. But actually, I'm expecting around 2,700 for gold. So, hi. So now let's look at the BTC dominance, BTC.D. So yeah, let's just look at it because it's actually, wait, let's remove all the drawings because we already done this in our previous videos. So if you look at the trend, it's actually an uptrend. But at this point or at this level, it's actually at support area. So I think it will try to retest back and regain the 70 area. So which is around this area. Or actually this is around the, what's this? Actually this is the weekly. Wait, let's just use the daily chart. So if you look at it, there's actually, aside from that, actually it's trading, I mean it's already at support area. So I think the alts will be over soon, and BTC will regain back the dominance. So possibly it will try to go back to this area, or that is actually around 80, depending where the candle will try to retest this resistance line. So now actually there's also some interesting part that I want to show you, because there's also a gap here that's not yet filled. So actually that is also a possible catalyst for it to move higher. I mean the dominance to move higher. But when is, of course, that's actually the question. So actually this is the area that is not yet filled. So let's change it to this one and this one, because this is actually the high. So this is the whole gap that's not yet, oh, I mean this area, because it's already went as high as here. So the gap is actually at 73 or 74 area. What's the low of this? Wait, let's check this chart so that we can check the low. The low is actually 73.91. So that's the possible area that it will fill this gap. And if it fill the gap, possibly could move higher to around 80 dominance. So that's why, yeah, for some alts, especially for lower than lower than 100 based on market cap, it's actually for me it's very risky and dangerous. So as much as possible, just go onto the high caps. So actually someone is asking what happened to BTC. So yeah, maybe let's go back to BTC USD. So currently it's actually trading around 9,686. So this is actually daily the daily, come again, the daily time frame. But if you look at it, so it's actually, or if you look at the trend, it's actually at support area or near the support area. So I'm expecting another, it will try to retest back again the 10,000, 9,800 first, and then if it break that 9,800, possibly retest the 10,200. And yeah, the target is actually, what I'm targeting is the $10,900. And of course the support I'm looking at is the 9,000. Possible support I'm looking at is the 9,000, what's this, the 9,400 and the $8,700. Also I would like you to, let's also go to the CMC chart, because there is a gap that is not yet filled, this area. So watch out also for the possible, you know, if it break this area, this around 10,500, it could possibly, go and retest this around 11,000 area. So that's actually the unfilled gap in CMC exchange is 11,675 to 11,950. So actually watch out for it because normally the gaps, usually CMC is the exchange that have a lot of gaps, but most of the gaps are already filled except for this one. So I think it will fill this, but when is, of course, that's actually the question. So for now, the very key level is it need to break the 10,500 here because this is actually a double top. So now trying to retest it again. So let's see if this time if it will break this out. So yeah, I think that's the most important thing that we need to look at for BTC. So what else? So I think let's move on again to Link. Yeah, actually I'm waiting for it to be listed in BitC exchange. However, at the moment it's not yet listed. So let's use this. Let's use this Kraken. Wow. So actually it's almost also at the almost at high. So wow, this is well actually wait. Let's look at the just checking if there is divergence. I think there's none. It's just a convergence. Anyway, let's try to plot the trend. So this is actually the chain link trend. It's actually an uptrend and currently at support level. So I think it will try to retest this back and possibly target around this area. So depending where the candle try to retest this resistance line. But of course, the key resistance we're looking at is of course this area. So that's the 4.75 area. And of course, the support is, yeah, actually it's already at support area. So this is the support we're looking at, the low of the doji. So that's actually around 4.21. So that's the 4.21. Of course, if it break that around this level, around 4 pesos. I mean 4 pesos, $4. I thought it's sorry. It's actually in dollars. So yeah, I think this Chainlink is also one of one of my favorite cryptocurrencies. So yeah, of course, aside from Bitcoin s- and the top I mean some of the top altcoins. Actually, it's also in the top 100. Actually, in the top one of the top in the top 30 actually. So yeah, I think we're done. I think we discussed already the BTC dominance. I think we discussed it. So yeah, I think there you go guys. So see you again next time. So thanks guys. What's this? Oh, actually that's the ano.